The respect of Geneva Convention is something that in every war must be taken into consideration. The rights for individuals, civilians, men, women, and children to enjoy the issue of nationality as well as have basic identification document is part of the human right enshrined in the Geneva Convention and also in all the laws that we read, even that made by our respective nation. When war is ongoing or conflict, or call it whichever way you want to describe it, civilians are supposed to be protected, and that's why when civilians are caught in the crossfire or when they are used as human shield, it is described as a war crime or crime against humanity, as we are seeing the situation in Gaza and in other parts like in Ukraine, just to name but these. We are counting close to 7 years into the ongoing armed conflict in the northwest and southwest region. A lot is being said about how human rights is supposed to be respected, how the belligerents are supposed to deal with the aspect of respecting the rules of engagement as laid down in the Geneva Convention. Some of them are no attack of schools, hospitals, no attack of churches, no attack of civilians, no attack of the vulnerable women and children, and those who are not armed as far as that is concerned. For more than 6 years or so, we've seen how some of these do not have become a new normal. However, one that is shocking is a recent video that popped out from Meme Division of the southwest region of Cameroon, where more than 20 individuals, including women and children, were caught by alleged separatist fighters in Meme, being brandished, and some caught by one purported or self-proclaimed general, which happens to call General Al-Qaeda. He accused these individuals of trying to fight hard to get their birth certificate, and what he said they are struggling to get their birth certificate to go and register for Elecam Cameroon. One thing we must be clear is that birth certificate is the right of anybody, even the right of the same kidnappers or the same person who have held them in custody. It is his own right to have a birth certificate, regardless of how the state will go. Birth certificate will help to identify the year and the nationality under which that person was born. He actually got with his team more than 20 people under his custody and said he was going to kill them. It all happened on the 1st of May, according to the video that is in our keeping. It happened on the 1st of May in Meme Division, where he brandished and accused the Catholic Church of trying to undermine their integrity, their authority, by establishing or helping the individuals to have their birth certificate. We must always condemn what is wrong, and what is right we must appreciate. What is wrong is that these individuals and mothers who are trying to get their birth certificate and to establish their national identification card. The kidnapping of these individuals will go a long way to give a bad name and to enhance the aspect of Geneva Convention from those who have constantly been championing the fact that war crimes and crimes against humanity are being conducted. The sad reality here is that these persons brandish the video are being appreciated by some persons who are intellectual, who have gone to school and know that whether you are fighting a genuine cause or not, individual civilians unarmed are supposed to be protected, especially women and children, and also those who are not part of the war are supposed to be protected. But that is not the case, as we have seen over the past 7 years. Today it is either Tom blame Harry or Harry blame Tom, and Tom say it is Harry's fault and Harry say it is Tom's fault. All these are things that are bringing the nation at a standstill, while the rest of the nation is moving forward. We are here asking questions: when and how will the conflict end? Bernard Fallon, in his book titled The Genuine Intellectual, had warned against intellectuals who cannot withstand or show their progress when the time comes. We have seen how self-acclaimed doctors, people who have gone to important schools, celebrate the killing of unarmed civilians in the northwest and southwest region. We have seen how people who have gone to school, who understand the respect of lives, the protection of the innocent, have gone called for the maiming, the killings of those who probably are of their own. We keep saying that the Anglo-Saxon culture is a culture that promotes respect and have the force of argument and not the argument of force. But we have seen how others are using the argument of force. Either we have it this way or you don't have it. Is that the Anglophone culture? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Javis. A happy Trinity Sunday to all those who are Roman Catholic Christians and those who believe in the Trinity, and those who don't believe, join us in celebrating the Trinity Sunday. And to those who, all the mothers in this world, not leaving out the fathers, all the mothers in this world, want to wish you a very, very big Mother's Day as you celebrate the Mother's Day. As we always say, sweet mother, I no go forget you. For this suffer way you suffer for me. Don't also forget to give the glory to the fathers who have made you the sweet mothers by standing by you while you raise your kids. Sometimes fathers' worth are undervalued, and all of us keep singing the praise. Sweet mother, if I no chop, my mother no go chop. The father is the one providing the food too, so that your mother should have and provide for you. And so while you celebrate your mother and give your mother gifts, know that the father play a key role in your upbringing. And so we want to say a happy Mother's Day, and also tell our fathers that we thank you for what you have done. Those who have been taking care of children who are not theirs, we want to wish you a very, very happy Mother's Day. We want to thank you enough as you are raising the children that are not yours. Those who are raising their brothers' children who must have died, or sisters or nephews. We want to say keep the work, as God is your shepherd. You shall not want and you shall not lack. A happy Mother's Day to all those of you. I want to say happy Mother's Day to you, the DJ of My Media Prime. We are talking about Madam Zenabu. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Madam Zenabu. You are also a mother in the house. We want to wish you happy Mother's Day too to you, my mother, Madam Magdalene B. My mother, happy Mother's Day to you. And to begin the program, I introduce you my guest with whom we are going to discuss on today's edition of our program, Senior Barrister Ashu Emmanuel. He is the national president of the Reform Party. Senior Barrister Erena, Echena, which of them? Happy Sunday.
Oh, happy Sunday. It's always a pleasure sharing sweet moments with the audience of My Media Prime. And I hope today we're going to tackle this very important topic that is causing sleepless nights in the minds of people whose heads are on their shoulders.
Thank you very much. Also, we are joined by Mr. Asia. He is a teacher across some of our secondary schools in Cameroon's commercial capital. Mr. Asia, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Javis. It's a pleasure once more to be here and contribute my own quota in the development of Cameroon and the development of humanity. I want to say it's a pleasure once more being with Senior Barrister Ashu, Monsieur Excellence, and I want to say we are there. We hope to produce or give our own small quota that we can for humanity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to wish you a very, very, very happy Sunday to you, Madam Nyam Robert and Mr. Nyam Robert in the United States of America. You guys have been so wonderful in helping those in need, especially in this day that they are celebrating Mother's Day. Acknowledge the support and the help of you, Madam Nyam Robert, and also that God continue to guide you as you and your husband. You have never given up to those who are internally displaced in Cameroon. You have been donating materials to enable those who are internally displaced. So Mr. Nyam Robert, I want to also thank you very much. We say that you may be a man, but you have been taking care of a lot of internally displaced persons, which gives you the position of a man and a woman, because you are there taking care of those who are in need. And so together with your wife, wish you a very happy Sunday. I wish you a very, very happy birthday to you, Moneze Polo Blanc. Happy birthday to you as you celebrated your birthday yesterday. That happens to be Saturday. We want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. And to you, my very good friend Zangazang. And my Frank Zangazang wants you happy birthday to you. Never. May the good God continue to guide and protect you as you celebrate your birthday to this May. And to conclude this birthday package, I want to wish you Princess Ofonde Minette, the daughter of Manu, Princess Ofonde Minette, the daughter of Manu. A happy birthday to you, my dear friend, my dear colleague, my dearest friend. Happy birthday to you, Princess. May God continue to give you many more lives and many success as you move down as you move up your academic ladder and also your professional ladder. As Tata Kinge will always sing in his charter, you should understand is that as God continue to bless you, you will face so many challenges, but never give up. He said, Moto Maimbe to all those of you who are suffering. Moto Maimbe. Senior Barrister Ashu Emmanuel, more than 20 kidnapped in Meme Division, brandished by alleged separatist fighters for wanting to do their birth certificate, to do their ID card, and to go and register for election and to vote. When and how has that become a crime in a nation and in the world when we are talking about Geneva Convention? You are a senior scholar in terms of the legal profession. You are also the national president of the Reform Party. Where does that party stand? And also legally, where does that stand?
Thank you, Mr. Tah Javis. You see, illiteracy can be a felony, not even a crime, a felony, because when you see certain patterns of behavior, you understand that this type of behavior is commanded by illiteracy. In your opening statement, you talked of people who were kidnapped because they wanted to make birth certificates that will enable them to make their identity cards and go and register to vote. But when you look at the video, you watch those videos and listen to what the people who were the authors of that kidnapping were saying. It is their own thoughts that they were presenting. The victims, the innocent victims of this hideous misbehavior, never said they wanted to register to vote. They went to make birth certificates. Now, you see, I say illiteracy may be a felony because many people don't understand, especially those of the likes of people who went kidnapping innocent civilians. They may think that a birth certificate is a document which any person can toy. A birth certificate is a document that marks a human being's, the beginning of a human being's existence, legal existence. The people in the diaspora who are funding this secession, before they left Cameroon to go to wherever they are, did they not have birth certificates? Did they not have identity cards? Could they have left Cameroon without passports? I mean, why do you refuse other people what you yourself have? No person, no human being as a citizen of whatever country can live without a birth certificate. You need a birth certificate to be able to be identified as a citizen of this or that place. Now, these are people who say they want total independence. My brethren, my sisters, if tomorrow you have your own country, what is it that will enable you to know the citizens of your country? Since you don't want people, you don't want your own citizens to have birth certificate. How will you identify your citizens? How? I mean, these are people who cut off their hands and expect that the cut hands will hold something. The birth certificate are the documents that will enable you eventually, if ever you have your state, to say that this man is the son of this person.
I was born
daughter
here.
of this was born here.
And this year.
On this year. It is immaterial whether person was born under the Republic of Cameroon or the Federation of Nigeria or whatever country. There are Cameroonians born in Ivory Coast, born in Ghana, born in Germany, born in America. That does not make you less a Cameroonian, because the identity card is the legal document that shows that you were born somewhere on a certain day of parents whose origin can be traced to Cameroon. So this is this is sorry, stark illiteracy, and I think that this gentlemen ought to go back to school. If they don't have any school, let them come to my chambers. Let me show them, because
senior
this is horrendous.
Senior barrister, do you need a school to even know the importance of a birth certificate?
You need to,
because
you need,
I want
because
to ask a question. When we listen to also what they said in that video, I don't want to play the video because it would be like giving them credit. What they said in that video was, since when Catholic Church got involved in producing birth certificate, but the church as well as some civil society organizations have played a key role to facilitate group of persons to have documents of ID card, birth certificate by collecting their data collectively and meeting authorities that are in need.
Mr. Tah Javis, the Catholic Church or the Presbyterian Church or whatever church can be involved in the issuance of birth certificates. What they need to do is get clearance from the authorities that be to recognize them as civil status registrars. That is all. It is not an offense for somebody to help. Look, these documents are so important that you have seen the mayor of Bonaberi here just near us severally order that children who don't have birth certificate just come. If you are born without a birth certificate, just come, the council will issue, because without a birth certificate you cannot go to school. There is nothing you can do without a birth certificate. You cannot even write any exam. You cannot even apply to work anywhere. You need a birth certificate that will eventually help you to have a national identity card. Now let us touch the bone of contention, because these fellows say that the ID cards were going when the birth certificate will enable the people to make ID cards that will enable them to register to vote. Good. You don't want people to register to vote. That is the problem, because I mean, we should touch the nail on the head. You don't want people to register to vote. Mr. Javis, let us remind ourselves of the fact that when we sit today and say, oh, Mr. Biya has been in power for 40 years, we are the cause of that Mr. Biya being in power for 40 years, because we have been refusing consistently to partake in the elections. So we have been allowing Mr. Biya to just have a clean sweep of every electoral process. Now, these are people who say they don't want Mr. Biya. You don't want Mr. Biya. I don't want people to register to vote, so you want Mr. Biya. In actual fact, these are Mr. Biya's supporters, because they want him to remain in power and to die there. By saying that people should not register to vote, they want Mr. Biya to remain in power. So they should stop pretending. Tell us immediately that, look, your real goal is to enable Mr. Biya to die in power. We shall understand you. They don't tell us that you don't want Mr. Biya to be in power. You are using Mr. Biya's 40 years as a pretext to seek an independent state, whereas in actual fact you want him to remain there so that you can continue making huge gains from the spoils of the war. You see, that is the real problem. If people were to register and vote massively, we are going to look. You see, look, Mr. Tah Javis, it is 7 years plus now that this conflict has been raging on. We are not seeing any solution on the table. I am a politician. I've told this guy severally, You don't have any solution in view.
Or a backup plan.
You think that you can outsmart or you can beat the army of the Republic of Cameroon in the field, in the battlefield. It's a far-fetched dream. At best, you will cause this war to prolong for as long as the parties keep rearming themselves. That is the only thing they will obtain. Because you cannot imagine that one day the Republic of Cameroon's army is going to capitulate. It is not possible. Because they have the means of borrowing from anywhere. They can take weapons from anywhere. They can call soldiers from other countries if they want. So please, why do you want to keep our people in perpetual suffering? We have the possibility politically now to vote out Mr. Biya's government and put in place a government that can end this war without losing further people. You don't want it. So I don't understand. How can we even have a ship on board which we have 16 captains? People should understand that these guys are leading us into the wilderness. You are not leading us to any prosperity. You are leading us to wilderness.
Correct.
Because a ship with about 16 captains, which viable decision can you take? It shows that whatever thing you are doing is not well thought. And we can see when you start arresting and kidnapping people because they want to make birth certificate, it shows that you have lost all sense of reason. So that's why I'm saying, Mr. Tah Javis, these guys need to be sent to school, because I have told them severally, you say you are in the bush to ask for independence. We have our independence already. Maybe they forget there was an independence vote on Southern Cameroon at the United Nations. Resolution 1608 Articles 2 sub B recognize the independence of Southern Cameroon by joining Republic of Cameroon. So how many independence do you want? Ask for the right thing. The restoration of the state of Southern Cameroon. That is the right thing. Don't say you are looking for independence. That's the right thing. And you cannot obtain it through war. We are saying that politically we can obtain it. And now we are even helped by the momentum from the Francophone side, that where people are all standing up to say Mr. Biya must go, so that we put in place an Anglophone that can end this conflict. So why keep on suffering and tormenting our people for their own basic rights?
Okay, Senior Barrister, I'll be coming back to you for some follow-up. Mr. Ezia, it is a kind of troubling situation where we see people being kidnapped for wanting to do birth certificates. Even if that independent comes, will it not enable you to easily identify your citizens, to know that, okay, this one was born on Mr. Peter of Kokepo of Kwakwa, this one, the mother is from this, so that you can easily know? Why do we go to this extent to say, okay, we don't need them to have birth certificate over a different fear of elections?
It seems that Javis, I've always said that it is very easy to start something, but to end it becomes another thing. You see, when this conflict started, it started like a joke, and many people took it lightly, and that is why we are seeing the conflict right up to today. And I feel birth certificates become so primordial in life, because like Senior Barrister said, they tell us our origin, our parents, and actually they are what enable us to become citizens of a particular nation. But if we are claiming that we want to have a nation, and at the same time we are depriving those who claim we are going to rule tomorrow of that basic right of having that certificate, that will make them to become citizens of that country, the country that we are dreaming to have. So I begin to ask myself, like Senior Barrister has said, it is all of ignorance. And he has said, and I buy with him, illiteracy is a crime. It's a crime, and at times some of these things is out of ignorance and brings things of this nature. That's why you see people proclaim themselves and give themselves titles that we don't know where the titles are. I have said, and I will continue to say this, Mr. Javis, there is no individual or no group of persons that can defeat a government. Once there is a government of a country, in a country, I usually say this, I say after God in heaven, in any country is the government.
It's even in the Bible that respect the state and the authority.
And the authority. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. After God, in any country, there is a government. And that government is not like, government is also like spiritual. We don't see it. Government is power. And when the government is in place, we need to respect the institutions of the government. And with regards to this conflict, Mr. Javis, I've always said that senior barrister, president of Reform Party, I think it is high time people see other solutions that can be brought into place, or see that we put an end to this conflict. Senior barrister has mentioned the aspect of no, you mentioned it, that on the pretext that people want to obtain a birth certificate in order to vote and things like that. But is it not a right for a citizen of a country to vote? I think these are some of the things that are disturbing in Cameroon, because
and that same person is using the franc CFA as legal tender.
That is, it is an irony, because all these things that they are saying that we are not for, they are the very people that are using those things 100%. So they are just keeping Cameroonians under captivity. So it is a situation that I feel we really need to sit down and rethink what how it all started. And I think the powers that be and the politicians of the country, they need to put hands on deck to see that there is a solution to this. But coming to the election, like senior barrister was saying, I want to also say that not only that, there is a general political apathy that is in the whole country. I begin to feel that maybe the political apathy has been as a result of the too much participation and with no good results. And people are like saying that they are fed up and we cannot continue, when we know that we already understand those who are going to be the victors at the end of the election. I may feel that is what some people have in mind, and that contributes to the political apathy that is within the youth, as I may say. But all the same, we want to say the birth certificate is a very vital, important document that we need not deprive any Cameroonian the right of having a birth certificate. And so we are saying we don't accept such, and we call on the powers that be to actually dismiss from such acts.
Okay, briefly with you, you talked about the aspect of illiteracy, but my mother did not go to school. But my mother knows the importance of birth certificates, and a lot of mother's generation and who have never gone to school in the villages. These are people who know the importance of birth certificate. Should we hide behind the aspect of illiteracy as a shield to know that what people are doing is wrong?
You see, the word illiteracy or not going to school and being literate, and going to school and being illiterate is something. Somebody to school, but the school does not pass through that person. That person is illiterate. So when you talk about your mother did not go to school, you see, there is formal and informal education. There are some who actually go to school who had informal education, who with their contributions in the society, you see, those who have gone to school, obtain very big certificate, who cannot give contributing facts that can develop humanity. So it's not like the illiteracy as they did not go to school. Literacy on the importance of the birth certificate. This
says happy 34th anniversary of the Social Democratic Fund. This is coming from my very good friend Bison Wanimu in Tiko. It is my contribution. Good morning, Mr. Javis. Please extend my regards to senior barrister. It is conceivable that people arrested for trying to process their ID how then do they expect change in Cameroon? Like the barrister said, denying people the rights to produce ID card is equally denying them, consequently giving BARR a smooth sail through back to the A to D palace. Will make Omar Malimu Bisong writing from Tico. And this other one, Mr. Javis, there is no volume here. We are not getting it sound coming out. I'm sure in the distribution of cable and in your area, they will work on that. Mr. Star's number. I wish to join his party. He is full with this is Cyril writing from Bonnerberry. And Cyril writing from Bonnerberry. This one I will not ask for permission. I will just send it to you directly, Cyril. I'm sure you have it now, and after the program you can to Senior Barrister. Good day. This other one, right, he says happy Sunday to you guys. I'm really very sad to hear that people were arrested or kidnapped, as you put it, to do their pointing. And I really wish you play the video, because this is terrible and we're not seeing it being condemned, and we don't even know the fate of these people. When did that happen? This is my issue. That occurred on the 1st of May this month. Recorded, the videos went in viral. That was on Thursday that the video went viral. People were actually kidnapped, were more than 30, including women and children. Women and from General Akada. So General Akada, and he says he's Al-Qaeda, and he was saying that this general said these people with more than 20 have no right to have birth certificate, because they intend to go and register and do the ID card and to register to vote. And now I put it to you, Senior Barrister, my question. Now, if these people have the power for ghost town, they have the power for lockdown, can't they use this power now to determine who they want to represent them in Northwest and Southwest, and sweep all the seats in Northwest and Southwest, such that they can now be in full control politically in Northwest and Southwest, while looking at other options for the full restoration of what they are looking for, rather than just saying no election? Can they re-strategize as in Colombia other rebel leaders have done?
Mr. Tah Javis, you're talking of Colombia. Look at Ireland. We have a good case in Ireland. Jerry Adams was the leader of IRA in the rebellion. After fighting for many years, he decided to abandon the joint politics and obtained independence for Ireland, and became, of course, Prime Minister. You see, it does not make sense for you to keep a people in servitude. Those who are abroad they don't seem to know that the people on ground zero have to leave. Now, how can the people on ground zero leave if they don't have birth certificate that can enable them open a simple bank account? Because you cannot open a bank account without having an ID card.
Or even register a SIM
card. And you cannot even have an ID card if you don't have a birth certificate. Do they really think we are crying already because of the too many villages, more than 500, that were burned down with all the content in the houses? Then those who have survived want to make birth certificate, you refuse, under the pretext that they are going to participate in vote. Like you rightly said, we have been selling this idea that had a Southern Cameroonian control all these councils, it is power. It is power wielded by your own population. But these people, they know very well that what they are doing will not stop Mr. Biya from saying, okay, CPDM has won, and appoint people who are in Douala or Yaoundé to represent the various councils that are there. They know it. And who is going to gain in that type of situation? Look at the foolishness. See, look, the recent murder of the mayor of Bello.
Yes, Bello, and
a resident mayor.
Yes, and he's I think a regional delegate or so, and one other.
A resident mayor developing his area, helping his people. You kill him. You kill him.
That he was going to march.
You kill him. It is monumental foolishness. I said it is illiteracy. They should go back to school. This is somebody helping your people. You prefer to be sending money from abroad with help inside containers when you have people on the ground who can help the population. Look at that. You see, this is part of the foolishness we've been decrying, and we say that, as you rightly put it, if all these people can realize that in parallel to their military struggle, a politically grounded party can control the ground and have all those councils, it is to your advantage, sir or ma. It is to your advantage, because
you need people to work for you.
Your population on ground zero need to live. They need to live. They need to have the means of fending for themselves, and they cannot do that if the councils around them are not well organized. They cannot. It is not a matter of representing you in Yaoundé. Look at their grassroots population. How do they live? Life goes on. They don't live by the roadblocks you conduct. They don't live by the kidnappings. They live by going to farm, getting their produce and selling, doing business and getting money, and making the economy work. So please, it is a fully, I said this is a group of people who have that they are like a ship with 16 captains.
Because senior barrister,
which direction will you go?
Senior barrister, let's take Southwest region as a case study. Let's take Meme division, because somebody is asking where did it happen. You're called Meme division, and I'm sure it should be by Panya also. I've forgotten the name of this village, but in Meme division, I have the video, and the video actually spells out the town. But senior barrister, let's take Southwest as a case study. Let's assume these generals in code who are there, these leaders who are fighting, decide that, okay, you know what, this is because they have an ideology. They say they want leaders that they want to control their resources. Let's say it's okay, you see Kumba Council 1, 2, and 3 will decide who will become mayor of that council, so that the person will help and develop the council based on what we stand and what we are seeking for.
Of course.
Can't they not decide who will be the leaders in this area? Don't they have that power? If they have power, for go stand to say, okay, we are rallying behind such, and we are looking for a political solution, so that the politician, while you are struggling for restoration, the politician have resources to enable you.
Mr. Tah Javis, these are a group of confused people. At one time when I campaigned, it got to them that my line of campaign was good, and one of their spokesmen actually came out and said, please let us listen to this man. What this man is saying is correct. These are the type of people we should support. Because I was actually telling them that we can take control of the grassroots and help our people while struggling. What is bad in that? If you have a council that can shorty your population at cooperative, so that they take small loans to run their businesses, what is bad in that? Is Yaoundé's hand inside? They see the devil everywhere. You don't want Yaoundé to control. You don't also want your own population to be controlled by its own people. What nonsense is that? What else state do they think they can have if the state if their grassroots cannot be controlled by their own people? You see that it is a matter of the confusion in their heads. Like I said, a boat with 16 captains, each one going his own direction, will definitely not have any permanent direction to take. Okay. So we should, it's high time the population on ground zero should know that following these people who are all going to their own direction. Look, when you the lockdowns these days, this one will say there's lockdown, that one will say there's no lockdown. Look at that confusion. Confusion. So please, the ground zero should learn to follow able-minded politicians who want to help the people of ground zero. It is your right to have a decent living. It is your right to vote elect your councillors. That has nothing to do with Yaoundé. Elect your mayors. It has nothing to do with Yaoundé, because those are the people who control their day-to-day life. If you don't do so, Mr. Biya will do so from Yaoundé, and you are the one to lose. Don't cry again that he has been there for 50 years.
I'm reading a comment from someone who claimed the name is Manly Macro, and who says that I'm a faceless individual. This is one of the diasporans, because the comment that she or he has said is very, 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 very wrong. And he said the people who are already there representing the people, what are they doing? And that we are just being hungry. I want to make it clear to you, if you are in the northwest and southwest region, if you are actually fighting, we are not against what you are doing, what you believe. We are not against your belief. We respect your opinion.
Sovereignty belongs to the people.
We respect your opinion. The one thing we must also understand here is that if we are preaching the respect of Geneva Convention, we should respect civilians. We should respect the right of the people that we are protecting. And that's why we see when this conflict started, when the civilians were not being touched, the mothers in the northwest and southwest region were calling them our voices. When they started kidnapping individuals and civilians, the mothers in the north and southwest said those voices. You see, the dynamic has changed. If you change your strategy, we are saying that we must respect Geneva Convention, which means the respect of civilians. It is you and Cameroon government, whatever you decide, or the way I saying, leave the civilians out of this, because the civilians are those you claim you want to protect.
You aspire to govern?
Aspire to govern. And so therefore, when a lot of you go on source online and make noise about it, I'm sure most of you don't live in the northwest and southwest region. Those of you who are leaving those comments that are not good, most of you are probably living in Douala, enjoying your Douala. Have you gone to the northwest region and southwest region and see how those mothers and children are suffering? Have you seen even those of our brothers who are having guns? You know how they are suffering? You think we like what they are going through? I think that we must collectively have a reason. Those of you who are in diaspora, you have never listened to the sound of an AK-47 being truncated in your quarter. You have never listened to the frightening gun sound, because you are just making noise in diaspora, because you have never listened to these guns ravaging. You have never seen people killed in front of you, your loved ones being killed in front of you. So what we are saying is peace is priceless. Let me come to you, Mr. Bechan, before my emotion takes me based on some messages I see. Yes, let me come back to you. I want to ask you this question. We are seeing people who are saying that, okay, let us not use this people should not have ID card. But now, they are using the franc CFA. And they will tell you that the franc CFA is because it's the only one at the time, and now that is to be used. Is also not having birth certificate the only thing that we have at the government at the time?
You see, ignorance is a problem. We see that these people deprive others not to have certain things, but they themselves, they possess it. I think it's a very wrong idea to deprive us for the time being necessary documents that can permit us for the time being to do our own small activities or carry on our own social life. So what I am saying is, for the time being, those basic rights that can help individuals to identify themselves, that can help individuals to know where they are from, to know their ages, because the birth certificate determines the age of a person or determines the place of birth of a person, makes the person to know his parents and maybe his family tree. We are not saying, we are begging that such things should be encouraged. Instead, the ideology that is behind the conflict in Cameroon, we are not against that, like you have rightly said.
Yeah, we are not against the ideology.
We are not against the ideology, neither we are like saying that there are basic human rights that are important, that despite the fighting, we should know that we should put this into consideration, and the normal citizens should actually enjoy some of those rights. We know fully well that when two elephants are fighting, it is the grass that suffers. But the grass has suffered for about 7 years. And should we continue to suffer like that? I still say the ideologies are between two people. There is a camp, and that is having its own ideology of saying that we want to be independent, and there is the government of the country, which, like any other government, will be very will actually stand for the point that you cannot go, and there is no government in the world. It's not like I'm chewing my word. There is no government in the world that will just sit like this and say no, because you people are not happy, we should just let you go. It is very impossible. We know fully well that to achieve independence anywhere you are supposed, it is not an easy thing. But our problem is, if you deprive people of having a birth certificate that will enable them to maybe have their documents, or like senior barristers just said, enable them to maybe come and be part and parcel of a small Njange group, that they can sign out small documents that they can have money to continue to their day and day activities. I think that is not welcome. The fighting is an ideology, because we call this type of conflict an ideological conflict, and it is very difficult to solve such a conflict if at the tail end the two parties don't actually come into one and say, let us see how we can find ourselves out. So I feel the basic human rights of our Cameroonians, the basic human right of those who are in ground zero, they are what we are defending. We are not here on the ideology. We feel that those documents, people should have their ID cards. And like senior barrister have said, a good way we can start is political independence. If the ground zero can be politically independent, controlling their councils, controlling their municipalities, I think that will go a long way in moving a step ahead of what they are fighting for. Because if we start having some more independence from this local council, that is how you start building it up, and you see that the ideology will take no time to come to conclusion. So there are simple things that we still need to educate ourselves. That's why we are saying it is not about saying some people are illiterate. It's educating ourselves, and this more basic rights that we owe our citizens are just right that even tomorrow, if we have a country on our own, these people will still need to know when and where they were born. And the only way we can know that is through their birth certificate.
Senior barrister, I want to ask the same question I asked Mr. Asia about, we see people using the franc CFA, and they will tell you that the excuse they are giving is that for the time being, this is a currency that is there until the restoration, they will stop using it. Now, why don't we also for the time being allow people to have birth certificate? Because for the time being, this is the only way they can have it. So when you have your independence now, you cannot issue them. Why do you use CFA genuinely and you don't want them to have an ID card? You call it a colonial document, and the same CFA that you are using it, you say for the time being.
Mr. Javis, I think that it is not even a problem of the time being, because birth certificates don't have anything to do with the country. As I said, you see, Cameroonians there are Cameroonians who are born in China, in Germany, in America. It doesn't matter where you are born. When you are born, your parents' nationality, you see, like in Cameroon, we say, if you are born here, you have the option of choosing to be a Cameroonian or to adopt your parents' nationality upon maturity. You see? So when you are born, if you're a Cameroonian born, or if you are born of Cameroonian parents in America, you have that option. When you become of age, to say, okay, I want to keep my parents' nationality or to be an American. But it cannot be said that because you want to make a birth certificate, you have chosen nationality. I mean, I said it was illiteracy because, like my good friend here, he said, you must have gone to school, but the school didn't pass through. All the swatting you did in school led you to nowhere because, I mean, you are as good as somebody who never went to school. You see, a person who has a birth certificate, it is since legal existence. These people in the diaspora, I ask them the question: how did you reach there if you did not have a birth certificate? How did they go there? They had to make passport. You need ID card. You need birth certificate.
Even the same man that has that gun, that is telling that these people should not.
He
have,
has his own in
his own birth certificate.
In his pocket.
If he's supposed to follow a document now, anywhere, even when he crosses to Nigeria, what will he use?
Some of these captains are on board. Some of these 16 captains on board this one ship are talking about referendum. About a possible referendum. Okay, let us look at this possibility. If there is a referendum, how will you identify your citizens? How will you identify those who are entitled to vote or not if they don't have birth certificates, if they don't have identity cards? Look,
how will you know they are not coming from the other region to come and vote?
How do you know they are not being hired, ferried from other places to come and vote? You see, it's terrible. No, people should.
They are championing referendum. A lot of them are saying, okay, they should be referendum.
It's funny. They should learn to be consistent with the law. This is even international law, not even local law, because birth status is something universal. It's universal. You cannot deprive somebody of his civil status. You cannot. So you also see they don't want birth certificate, they should also forbid that certificate, right? Nonsense. They themselves have birth certificate.
Is that right?
Right. You see? So don't prevent somebody from exercising his right. You see? We have a problem. I have chosen the political option. Some people are taking military option, and they want to force all of us to bow to their option. No lie. It cannot go. On what basis are they making all this open eye? Because it is a matter of open eye, that, as I used to say. They are trying to make open eye to the rest of the population. On what basis? What qualifies them to command us, to dictate to us their will, which is ill-guided? As we can all see, their will is ill-guided. My friend here rightly said it. If you have your own local politicians controlling your councils,
I imagine your local council, if you had selected, you have this power. You can
let's look at the noon. Look at the noon. The entire noon is controlled by UDC.
Yes. Yeah. It's UDC that controls the entire noon.
You see, all the revenue accruing to that department, that division, is controlled just by Bamut people. So, can they imagine that the development of our area will be in the hands of our people if all those councils are in the hands of our people? Does that stop them from doing whatever they're doing in their bushes? This is madness. So I don't understand. They say no election till independence. Okay, when is the independence coming? I ask them, do you have a clear-cut political agenda? Some say yes, some say no. Okay, those who say yes, what is their agenda? They say Acha, Ambazonia Coalition for Heavy Artillery and Ammunition. That is an agenda. Every 10 soldiers, inside every 10 soldiers, there should be 2 sniper rifles. Is that an agenda?
What happened to my trip to Boyama?
Is that no? Let us leave my trip to Boyama. Is that what an agenda? Okay, you say inside, whenever you have 10 soldiers, there should be 2 sniper rifles. What do you think the government is doing to its own soldiers too? You are just putting us into more turmoil, more suffering, undue suffering. Because as you are arming, the government too is arming. You want this thing to continue till thy kingdom come.
Like the war in Ukraine.
Till thy kingdom come.
NATO is arming. Russia is arming. North Korea supplies to Russia. Iran supplies to Russia. NATO supplies.
When will the war end if we have to keep arming and re-arming? And we forget that all conflicts end on the negotiation table.
Senior Barrister, these people who also say that having a birth certificate to go is wrong because you have to vote, are they not ignorant of the 1996 constitution that define where Cameroonian is? No.
They say the constitution does not apply to them.
Because
what defines the constitution? It would have been the law on what is this? They say there was a draft law on the family code.
Yes, because
yes, that gave
who a Cameroonian
that gave the definition of a Cameroonian. A Cameroonian is a person who either has his origin from the Republic of Cameroon that obtained its independence in 1960, or from Southern Cameroon that obtained its independence in 1961. You see, it is so clear. I was saying it. How can you take guns and go to the bush and looking for independence you already have? You have your independence already. Ask that your state be restored. That is the correct thing. For your state to be restored, do you need to take weapons and go to the bush? Do you need that? The Francophones have understood already and said, no, we have our people. The people we put in power to govern this country did wrong. Let us correct the situation by giving the giving power to an Anglophone who can correct the thing. That is what they are all saying now. The warmongers say no. Let people continue dying. People continue suffering. The economy keeps going down the drain. No, sir. Okay. I don't think it's correct.
Okay, we'll take on this message. Happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I want to thank you guys for the topic you guys are handling. My only worry is that these guys in the bushes seem not to understand what people are talking there, because the diasporans will just call them and brainwash them, and they will not see the reality. I thank God that some of them in Mehmet division are beginning to see the reality. They are now beginning to act rationally. Unfortunately, the video you are talking about, it is coming from one unguided fellow who seemingly probably is not even aware of his own speech that is talking about the fact that people want to have birth certificate and want to go and register to vote. Who the dash does he think he is?
Of course.
Please,
we can all pick up weapons, eh? You see, if all of us were to pick up weapons, you can you imagine what this nation will become?
When you are sending us message, don't insult people regardless of their affiliations. I will not read the insult. This one says, happy Sunday, Senior Barrister. Please, I need his number too, so that I can be a party member. I'm sending you the number right away. Okay. I've sent you the number, so you can follow up. This one right, it says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. Please, we are tired of this war. It is time for us to look for a political solution. Like you rightly said, Mr. Javis, imagine in Kumbo, Bamenda, that all the councils were now being controlled by separatists. If they had actually picked people to be in there to run for election, will these same people not successfully push the Anglophone agenda in managing their council and develop their council? And will you also not give these separatists the power to have political voices in Yaoundé and also political voices out of Cameroon, where they can negotiate a full restoration based on the bicultural? Why are we thinking that we can only kill and make intimidation before we restore or we have the independence, depending on which side you stand? I am Madam Clarence, writing from Kumbu. And this other one, right, it says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. Thank you for this topic. I am still very sad to think that people are now being kidnapped for doing an ordinary birth certificate. This is so sad for people who claim they want independence. Let me ask a question. If referendum is conducted today, how will you know who are those who are voting? Will you know whether they were brought in from French Cameroon or the Republic, as you fondly call it, to come and vote? Now you say you should not have birth certificate. How will you determine who votes in the referendum if today be a cause for referendum? Well, from Kumba, right, he says that noise that people are saying, that to me is noise, because these guys are not even hearing what you are saying. These guys are only there thinking about how to stop the vehicles along the Kumba road and to collect money and to look for who they consider black leg. I'm not sure these guys are fighting anymore for what they have been fighting for, because why I say noise is because these guys will never hear. So to me it's noise. But thank you guys for a meaningful contribution. It will go a long way to help those who intend to join the struggle to know how to carry out their operation respectfully. Let's conclude on this before moving now to briefly the second topic. What then it should be the way forward? What is your advice for the sons and daughters who are in the bushes, who probably have a different view of this situation?
The way forward is for them to rethink and now come back to themselves and understand that we start from gaining our councils in the elections, start from gaining authority within ourselves and controlling ourselves. We can push our ideology forward. I think that is the way forward to me.
Senior Barrister, National President of the Reform Party and a senior legal counsel, what is the way forward?
The way forward is that our people should take up their courage. Don't be intimidated by anybody. It is your right to have a better standard of living, and that right can only be exercised by voting, by registering massively to outvote these people who have put us into trouble for 40 years. Send them out of office and put in your own people. Vote your own people who will come and help you. I have been telling you, if Reform Party is elected into the office, give us all those councils, you will see how we are going to transform the place, because we are going to set up a scheme that will enable the cooperatives to give out loans to the population so that they can engage in business, open farms and all those things, so that people can have a means of livelihood. But we remain in war. War does not feed anybody except the man with the gun. And if he doesn't go with the guns, are you sure you are not entitled to decent life? You don't want to live in town in this air-conditioned rooms too. You want to remain in the bush for mosquitoes to bite you every day. You should also seek a way of improving your way of living. So the way forward is for us to register massively, and come election day, please vote Reform Party. You will see how wonders will be done.
Thank you very much, Senior Barrister. The second topic, GC is starting on Tuesday. What are the career paths for some of the students, and what advice do you have for some of the students?
Yeah, GC is starting on Tuesday. The advice I have on the students is, I always tell them that the teachers have done their part. It is time for you to be the Eto. It is time for you to be the Lionel Messi. It is time for you to be the Ronaldinos, that is putting all what you have acquired for 3 years, composing yourself and seeing that you write very well. I've actually advised students that use all the gymnastics that you can use to pass the GCE, but the gymnastics should not be against the rules and regulations that govern the examination. Remember, I always say you cannot fit your pig on a market day. So I've also said that we should know that we are coming to GCE not just what we have done for 2 months, but what we have been doing for 3 months. So those who have been lazy, please mind yourself. I want to also appreciate what is on the ground, especially with the surveillance cameras that are going to be in some of the centers. So those who are used to cartouche, be very careful that
innovations
have come in now by the GC board, so it will not be easy. So I just want to say, all those who are going to start on Tuesday, I wish you good luck. Compose yourself. It's normal exam, just like the exams that you have been having in school. And if you have been studying, if you have been taking your lessons so seriously, you are going to make it.
Now, what are possibly the career platform path which some of these students can take?
Now, I will say what they have to do now is not actually doing intensive reading, but it is a revision and composing yourself. But you know, there is at times what we call examination fever, that panic. So it is normal class exam, we should understand. But what makes it different is that it's the certificate examination. And so you just be composed and know that you are going to make it. You are going to write just like you are writing any other examination. Believe on yourself. Believe on yourself. Count on yourself first. Don't count on your neighbor. Count on yourself first. Believe that I am going to make it, and you will make it. Because what is the problem is you don't have confidence on yourself, and that makes you go astray. The little that you had in you can actually go out, but you have confidence that this small one or the one that I have, and with the revision, because revision is the watchword now. Don't say I have revised or I have done this. If there is anything that your friend calls you that, boy, I suspect there is something of this nature, you too have it, because to be for war is to be for arm. I think this is the watchword I can give for some of the students.
Thank you very much, Senior Barrister, National President of Reform Party. What you have, I'm sure you have an educational policy for the nation.
We surely have a very good educational policy, because all of us know that what we have in place is a failed educational policy, which
so just briefly give us that policy.
Yes, you see, we have a seasoned examiner here, and I was very happy when I heard him say GC board has thought of new measures. You having surveillance cameras. You see, the thing just it struck a note in my head. Say, look, at least these guys are not sleeping. They are doing something. They're trying to do something. Now, I happen to have worked in the GC board when I was in third year. What with that, it was not GC board then. It was some part of some department within the Ministry of Education that was controlling the exams, and we were in charge of the marking of the secretariat that was controlling the marking. So I saw exactly what they were doing, and I looked at it and I said, at the tail end of it, senior teachers, in whom most of us believed, were the ones who came to torpedo results. They will come and say, in this center I have this person, he must pass. I said, how? You are the people who are revered outside there, and you are the ones who come to change results. So Reform Party is proposing something that is going to be very, very different from what we have here. First of all, the school curriculum is going to be different, because we were brought up on the basis of fallacies. Somebody discovering the sea route to India.
Vasco da Gama.
What importance?
The route to India was there, being used by Africans and everybody. The fact that a European left that side and came to pass through it
by Niger.
Another one came and discovered the channel. The people were here on their mountain with their employers. A man came and passed down the river Buri, say channel of the God, because Boya Mountain was
oh my God,
nonsense. We were brought up on the base of falsehood.
And we read it.
And we read it.
And we passed.
And they gave us
and they gave certificates.
And they gave certificates. And that's why we don't have jobs.
The educational system.
I'm telling you, it is horrendous. They give us this type of thing. They say it's an educational system. Where you live, you have minerals all around you. Nobody tells you about them, because those minerals are reserved for them. They will come there and say they want to come and carry out research. That research is digging out everything and
or they deploy their military.
They say they one military base here in the forest
to fight terrorists.
We wait for the terrorists inside the bushes. You don't know that they are there like that to go be mining whatever is there. No. So we should tailor our education in such a way that our children should first of all know who they are. Who are you? What is your country? Look, we are crying today. Cameroon is in turmoil, because we are all brought up. They teach you British history. That's what they were teaching us. British history, world affairs,
right up to
French.
T-det.
Look at that.
America War of Independence.
T-det.
The history of Southern Cameroon. Who teaches you? We are here every day trying to straighten it. They don't teach you your own history. The silent Cameroon politics, nobody teaches you. Somebody said here that, last week that the only man who was writing civics was SNT. You look at that. And such an important topic. Then you come and sit and cry. Oh, there is no nationalism in Cameroon. Are you teaching the children nationalism? You have to make it. Now, you and I are speaking English, speaking French and other languages. What becomes of our own languages? When I was a child, I saw my father teaching Douala, teaching Mungaka. Those were written languages. Teaching Ejagam. Why can't we choose some of these languages and educate our children with them? That makes us more Cameroonian. We should have a sense of belonging to the place where we are. I am not very proud to be using English every day. If I'm even head of state, I will surprise you. My inaugural speech will be made in Ejagam. It's nonsense.
Correct.
Yes.
Pan-Africanist.
Yes. If I am head of state, my inaugural speech will be made in
Ejagam.
I don't think I'm an Englishman. Nonsense. Tell them that you are capable of representing your own culture.
But how do we see a situation where your colleague, because he's a chairman of his party, you are also a national president, has never addressed the nation in English, purely in French? I mean, part of the speech in English and of your speech that's the nationalism we are talking about, that we are not conscious.
To his discharge, he will tell you that he has been taking his oath in English. I so do swear. They have been administering the oath of office to him in English. So anyway, it is a personal choice. You are talking about my colleague.
But is it not promoting
the prime minister, who is your own brother? Has he ever made a speech in English? Has he ever made an official speech in English? Leave people alone.
During COVID, he made it in English.
Which COVID?
He addressed both
our prime minister always speaks but in French. He is an Anglophone. Why does he feel obliged to be speaking in French? As I leave those, let us look at more serious things. You see, we are saying that it is a better thing for us to educate our children to come out of school with what can help them. You remember our good friend Dr. Ngwanya? Yes, of St. Louis. Look at, I like what this gentleman is doing. I like what he is doing. Teaching people to grow wheat in Cameroon. Of course our land can grow wheat. They tell you Ukraine, that wheat can grow here.
The same thing that Ibrahim Traore has said, that Burkina Faso is not going to import anything that can be produced, and they have started growing wheat, hectares of wheat farm.
Of course. They come and fool us. They cannot grow. Why? Reform Party wants to educate our children so that even fertilizer will not come from outside. Look, all these household refuse will be used here to make fertilizer. We are buying nothing from anybody. All the television sets can be made here. Where air conditioners not being made in Douala here, they shut it down.
Okay.
They shut it down.
Okay, so
you should be buying.
Are you,
so I want to say
to the students,
to add to what he said. There is something very important. It's good to have a certificate, but it is better to have a good career orientation, because when they are going to write like that, it is not when they have their certificate that they start looking for the career. Try to get their career orientation before even you write. It is my father. My father oriented me while I was in class 1, secondary school, Form 1. He told my principal, this child has to be a lawyer. I went through Lycée Bileng as the lab technician. But when it came to writing GCE, they asked me to drop all the science subjects and concentrate only on 7 subjects that were the art subjects that could enable me to become a lawyer. You see, so career orientation is very, very important. Because you miss your career, you have missed your life.
Yeah,
and
to the students, right?
Yes, you see, please, students, let me give a message first of all to those people in the bushes. Please, we know that you don't want schools to hold.
This is the examination period. I want to remind you that when GC results are coming out, you people send us results from Maryland. You send us those results, just GC results from Maryland. Allow these children to write the exams, please. Don't disturb them. And children, please, like the examiner was saying, concentrate. The examination is just like your ordinary class exam. The only difference is that it will be marked by people you don't know. That's the only difference. And at the end of it, they will give you a certificate.
Okay. Good afternoon to you all in the studio. We just pray that GC kick off safely, because there have been some rumors of threat from the voices in the bushes that no one should go and write. We are scared and confused. We don't know what to do. Please help us. It is Saleh Teofil writing from Tombe. You're just saying as though you have read, as though you've read the message I was about to read. Thank you very much for coming.
It's my pleasure here, Mr. Javis. I want to greet my people at Carrefour, Shinwa, somewhere there, Kache Bamenda Bunaberi.
Okay, thank you very much. National President
and
of the Reform Party.
Yes, and well wishes throughout the world.
Thank you very much, all those of you who took our time to watch our program. It comes up every Sunday at exactly 12 to 1:30 p.m. and rebroadcast is on Sunday 10:30 p.m. The program is being produced by Desmond Akeba and also technically assisted by Alan. We want to wish all those who took our time to participate a happy Sunday. And as we always say, and no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter for you is that you should know that GC is coming. And please, parents, help those who are writing. Cook for them. Give them good food now. Give them chicken to eat. And don't give them so much work. Allow them to read. And also guide them during the process, such that if they pass, you celebrate. But if they fail, don't beat them. Also help to see why they failed. And now see where also you also failed in assisting them. Because at the end of the day, what matters is your matter. Bye-bye. My name is Tah Javis Mai on Commons Commercial Capital, Douala. Until we meet again, stay out of trouble.